ASTI stock, Ascent Solar Technologies Inc. It closed the session of the 11th of August 2021 at $0.0182, a retracement of 6.19%. 31 million shares crossed the tape during that session. We have a position in ASTI stock, so it's important that we indicate that. And it has a very high shares outstanding of 18.946 billion shares. And what we're looking at here is that the stock, some sessions ago, not very long ago, it broke through the 50-day moving average. So on the 5th of August, it broke through the 50-day moving average. That was the first time in several months, and also broke through the 200-day moving average on the 6th. And so that is probably its highest high since late May and June, I believe. So that was its highest high since late May and June. So, but it got some resistance there and has continued to pull back since that session. Since Monday the 9th of August, it hasn't really extended. It has been pulling back, even though during the sessions it may have extended, but the result on record for this daily model indicates that it hasn't broken through that challenge, that resistance at $0.021, which is just slightly above the 200-day moving average. So in the intermediate, the stock is very bearish. In the intermediate periods, it's very much bearish, but in the very short term, based on the 10 and the 20-day moving average, I think it's still improving. Those moving averages, especially the 20-day moving average, the 10-day moving average, it's bullish, and the 20-day moving average is hasn't really inclined up that much. But the key thing there is that the 200-day moving average, which is the longer term trend, is still very much bullish. And then the intermediate one, the 50-day moving average, is very, very bearish, so significantly bearish. You can see the slope of that. It has a very steep angle, sloping bearishly downwards. The 20-day moving average also doing the same, but it's trying to look up now. The 10-day also as well, but it's those short-term moving averages are trying to improve. Even the intermediate 50-day moving average, they're all trying to improve. But because we are dealing with machines right now, they will try to balance the fact that in the not too distant time, not too distant past, the stock was very much bearish. And indeed, you can see it also earlier, late last year and earlier this year, it spiked significantly. But all those things, they are very, very high volatility. Because you can see it's highly volatile. You can see the volatility here, very, very high. There are gaps, and would the machines recognize them that much? I think that the machines, and indeed all of us humans, would prefer a much more decent, much more regular extension, a slope that is just like this, even with corrections, just progressing upwards, so all in all, I think it's a mix of things. I think the fact its recent bearishness may be a factor. It's a much more stable trend, so there's a good chance the machines, and indeed us humans, might be leaning towards those bearish, much more recent bearish retracements. So, but at the same time, while they are doing that, it also creates the opportunity for us to look in the opposite direction. So if you want to go ahead and buy the stock, yes, you can by all means do so. Especially the fact that it's still a penny stock. That's one of the attractions for ASTI, amongst other things. And then the fundamentals, they are quite okay, but at the same time, if given all of those things ASTI is doing with the Department of Defense and all that stuff, but you haven't seen the stock like skyrocket and all that stuff. So that that should be the sort of questions you should ask. But at the same time as well, when there's a skepticism, that's also when you probably, if you feel more people are being skeptical, maybe you don't have to really join them in that. Try to think outside the box and try to see if there's any opportunity that will be created from their position. They're taking a stance against the stock or for the stock. So yeah, if you want to, by all means do so, but there's a good chance as well that it may also retrace a lot further. There's a good chance that that might be the case. But all in all, we're still maintaining our position there. If you want to maintain your position there, by all means. If you also want to pick up more, yes, I wouldn't discourage you from doing that, but just also not with a lot of money. It appears to be improving within a longer term uptrend, although it's presently below its 200-day moving average. That average is still rising, due to prior gains in ASTI shares. Additionally, the MACD histogram, which is used to measure the near-term trend, is above zero. It's outperforming the S&P 500. Momentum for ASTI is measured by 14-period slow stochastic oscillator is waning. Okay, momentum is not wonderful. This means that investors are less aggressive in their recent purchases and may even be taking profits in positions but at lower prices. The volume for that session was lighter than usual, trading 31.038 million shares versus an average of 102.995 shares per day during the last 12 months. The unbalanced volume indicator shows that the longer term selling pressure has given way to near term accumulation by traders. I see, as I indicated earlier on, there's a mix of things. Momentum is indicating that the stock is 14-period slow stochastic oscillator is indicating that momentum is waning, but the unbalanced volume indicator is also indicating that people are taking advantage of the fact that that momentum is no longer there. So things are getting a lot more quiet, and the stock is not that volatile of late. And probably, yes, in the last I would say the last maybe 7 sessions, possibly, things are looking a lot more quiet. So the consolidation is going on there. The stock is not spiking and retracing that high. So yeah, sometimes that's a good time for market participants that, or indeed machines that feel that they want to pick up the stock. So that's usually a quiet time when consolidation and volatility is low volatility is occurring. Consolidation is occurring. So yeah, by all means, if you want to do so, but left to us, if it were to retrace a lot further, that would be a perfect time to even add more. We haven't seen a lot of short figures, even though we have here on Naked Short Report that 66.3% were sold short as of the 10th of August, and that was also closed. The figure for the previous session, the 9th of August, was at 56.67%. So they look high. So we don't exactly know which one to rely on here on short squeeze. It's indicating that only 274,200 was is the current short interest. But of course, we know that short interest is not exactly the same as short volumes. So, well, if we have to rely on anything, I think we may be leaning towards this sort of figures. And if we are looking at this sort of volumes, then we can comfortably say that yes, the stock is pretty much by those short volumes. We can conclude that the implication is that some bullishness will return at some point. Okay, so you decide how much you are going to, or how you're going to get involved with ASTI stock. And thank you very much for watching this video.